Today I'm going to show you how to make a 3-ingredient sugar cookie. You're watching the Bear Pantry Show.
You're watching the Bear Pantry
So before we get into the list of ingredients that we're going to need, I want to let you guys know that after making the recipe, I realized that the butter was off, so I want to jump right in here in the beginning of the video for those of you who don't watch it all the way through to the end to let you know the list of ingredients, alright? It's 1 cup of butter, 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and a 1/2 cup of sugar. The butter, when I first started doing the recipe, was a little bit off because I was scaling the recipe down and it didn't quite work out when I divided it. So I had to fix it and add more butter into the mixture. So I'm telling you up front what you're going to need so that you don't start off wrong, okay? But take a look at the rest of the video and enjoy. Alright, so this is going to be very simple, of course, because it only uses 3 ingredients. Take a look at what we're going to need. This is a 1/2 cup of superfine sugar, and how I did that was I put it in a NutriBullet and just gave it a whirl. And it came out really fine, kind of like caster sugar. This is 3/4 cups of butter, and then 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. That's all we're going to need. And of course we're going to need some granulated sugar on a piece of wax paper to roll the dough in. So let's get started with the making of our cookie. I forgot to tell you guys that you're going to need your hand mixer or your stand mixer. You can always cream the butter and the sugar with like a wooden spoon, but it takes a while and it takes some muscle, okay? So invest in one of these. I keep telling you guys that, right? So let's get started. First of all, we're going to dump the butter in here. And I'm liking these 3-ingredient recipes a whole lot. I'm going to dump the sugar. And it's because they're simple. And they don't use a whole lot of ingredients, just like their names state, right? So all we're going to do now is beat this until it's creamy or fluffy, all right? I'd say 3 to 5 minutes, all right? So take a look. I have the butter and the sugar creamed. And now all I'm going to do is add, I'd say maybe half of the flour. And the reason we added in a little bit at a time, of course, is because we don't want it to go poof up. You know, when we start mixing. And of course, at this point, you can start mixing with your spoon or your spatula. And now it's time to put in the other half of the flour. After getting my hand on the flour mixture in the bowl, I quickly realized that it feels more powdery than moist. And I use the word moist because this dough is not supposed to feel sticky, alright? I dump it on the counter and I'm trying to form it to make it, you know, form a dough, but it's not working because it's way too dry. So this is when I decided that I'm going to add some more butter. I'm scaling this recipe from a larger size, so I thought 3/4 cup would do the trick, but I quickly realized that I need more. So at first I start off with 2 tablespoons of butter and I get it worked in, and then eventually I add another 2 tablespoons. So that brings it to an extra 1/4 cup added to the original recipe. I dump it on the counter, and all I need to do now is get my hands in this again and just start squeezing and forming it into a dough. Like I said, this is not going to be a sticky cookie dough like the kind of cookie doughs that you're probably used to. And what we want to do is, after we get it, you know, to where we can assemble it together, we're going to form a rectangular prism. So we want all the crumbs. We don't want to leave anything at all on the counter. And all we do is a rolling motion to just gather everything that's left behind. And it feels really good under my hands right here. It feels moist. I know it kind of looks dry on the video, but it's feeling moist under my hands. And we're not forming a loaf, even though it kind of looks like a loaf right now. We're not forming a loaf. We're just trying to get it to where it is together, and then we can shape it into that rectangle that I told you we're going to need, because these cookies are going to be square. So I'm kind of squishing the top, and then I go around the side, squeeze it in. And I'll tell you, we're going to slice these cookies, so that's why they're going to be square. So it's feeling really good under my hands, and we're almost there. Alright guys, so that was so much easier to form into this beautiful rectangular prism after we added a little bit more butter. So here I have my wax paper And I'm going to douse it good with some sugar. This is just regular granulated sugar. You want to put the cookie dough in that and kind of roll it in there to get all 4 sides completely covered with the sugar. It's going to be so good. Very simple cookie. It's a cup of butter, 2 1/4 cups of flour, and half a cup of superfine sugar that's in the dough. And now I'm rolling it in granulated sugar over and over and over and over again. And so all I've got to do now is take a little bit of shrink wrap and transfer it here. Wrap it up really well in the shrink wrap. And get this out of the way. Put it where you guys can see it. Just kind of tie it off, kind of like when you're wrapping a candy. And put this in the freezer for about 30 minutes, and then when we come back, we're going to be cutting it up so we can bake it, all right? All right, guys, so take a look at our prism. I put it in the freezer for 30 minutes. If you do that, you might have to let it thaw a little bit before you start slicing, okay? If not, you could put it in the refrigerator for like 30 minutes. So I've tried to cut these. I'm not doing a very good job with the knife that I was using. I'm putting it on a greased baking sheet right here. So take a look. Let's try to cut it good. If I'm not doing a good job, Joe will snatch it from me. So we're just trying to cut them to make them as square or as rectangular as we can go. They're not too thick. And I might need another sheet. And by the way, guys, if you notice, let me stop for a minute. If you notice sometimes you see random pots show up on the stove while I'm doing a show, it's because this is a fully functioning kitchen. It's not like a test kitchen in my garage, which I wish I had one there. But it's a fully functioning kitchen. Look at Joe over there. Joe's over there right when I'm doing a show peeling at lettuce. So you'll hear random noises, and sometimes I feel like I have to explain it to you. But that's why this is a fully functioning kitchen. It's my own little kitchen right here, and I love doing the YouTube show from here, and it's warm and inviting and everything else. But that's why you'll see pots show up sometimes behind me that wasn't there when I started the show. And it's because Joe is actually cooking dinner for us while I'm having fun doing the show. So I'm just going to get all this sliced up, get another baking sheet, stick it in the oven, and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. I can't wait for these to be done. All right, guys, so the cookies are finally done. Take a look. Aren't they just gorgeous? Now, I got like 25. There's some missing because some people have been eating. Take a look, though. You know, they're kind of thick, but not too thick. I think they're perfect for me. And around the edges right here has all the sugar that we rolled it in, okay? The bottom is nice and brown and crunchy, and the top is still light in color. I really love this. I love that it's a crunchy, hard cookie. It's not as hard as the ginger snaps, but it's definitely not a soft, chewy cookie like the way the children like it. So I think this is going to be for Joe and me. We're definitely going to enjoy this over time. We're going to put it like in one of those cookie tins, and we're just going to absolutely eat this and enjoy it because it's only like 25. If you eat one now and again, you'll be okay. And look at the size again, see? The size is perfect if you just want to eat one. You know, for those of you who are from Belize, like me, they taste like polvoron biscuits. You know, they really do. Somebody try it and tell me what you think, or especially somebody who remembers what polvoron tastes like, all right? I want to thank you guys so much for watching the show. I want you to have a safe Valentine's Day. If you like the video, hit like below and share it with your friends and family for me. And until I see you guys again, take care. Please check out my review channel right here on YouTube. It's called Bear Pantry Talk. Also, check out my vlog channel. It's called Babs Bear Talk.